Hello and welcome to Upper Pen. My name is Dakota, and today I am talking with Harmon Cooper, a lit RPG author who has written Feedback Loop, Cowboy Necromancer, Doom System Survivor, and The Cozy Abyss, amongst many others.
I'm looking through my books here. That's my latest Doom System Survivor, so I'm excited about it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for doing this, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get it all set up. It's been a little bit of a crazy year, and but now it's settling, and I'm working on a bunch of projects. I have a book coming out in a month, co-write with Luke Chimolenko called Aetherforged Rebirth. But you have to understand a lot of these books were finished a while ago. It looks like I'm just like massively about to release a bunch of books. I have like four with publishers right now that have been finished since January. So yeah.
Because
So
you have
there's
a your second Doom System Survivor comes out in October as well, doesn't it?
yeah, that I tried to tell them not to do that, but that didn't work out the same way. But it's okay. They're very, very different. And the other one is more of a progression fantasy. Again, it's written with Luke, and so everyone in the genre knows who he is. Ascend Online, Iron Prince, so many great books. And we have been buddies since 2016, and we just kind of decided, like, should we write a book together? And I was in New York City at the time while while walking around, and we just kind of brainstormed some ideas. And now we have two series that we're doing. So the first one is Aetherforged. The first book is called Rebirth. The second book is called Demon Storm. Both are finished. And then another series, which is called Eternal Realms, which I am starting my part of it in about October. So we have two different series.
Is that going to get confusing between the two of you?
No, because I made a mistake last year of I did too many projects at once. I had six that I was juggling kind of. And I thought the thing is, as authors, like I see like people having to work really hard, and like I see like manual labor, something that just always requires your time. And I've had a lot of jobs. I was a barista, I worked at call centers, I was like immigration advisor. I did a bunch of things that where I had to work all the time. So I thought to myself like, oh well, this is easy. This is just being creative. And it was not. So now I'm in a better place where I just focus on one project only at a time. And I don't think about any other project. So if you would ask me, like, tell me something about the feedback loop, I honestly could probably be like, well, the main character is Quantum Hughes. I don't know. Because otherwise it's too much. But how I have it structured now is every 2 months or so, I'm finishing a book, and I just try to focus on that. Which sounds crazy, but guys, you have to remember, people watching this, I've been writing like this since like 2011. So before AI, I was writing this fast. And so I am used to like working this way. It's just, bit off a little more than I can choose. So it doesn't confuse me. I just don't think about it until I start the project again.
Okay. So how does it work with you and Luke being co-authors? Like who's writing what?
That's a good question. When we started, we decided like I wanted to be just the writer part of it because I have all my own things going on, and I kind of didn't want to have to create things. He's brilliant when it comes to like world building and system building, and so how it started with Aetherforged is we brainstormed over the phone a bunch. Like he does this thing that I could never do, which is basically he can create like a 30-page document, which is the entire concept and story from start to finish. And I don't like the word pantser, but I like the word gardener. I pretty much build a sandbox or a garden and then plant and then work within it. So I have my limitations. So it worked really well in that regard because I get the script and then I improve on parts that I can improve on, or like character dynamics or character relationships. And since we both write lit RPG and have written lit RPG for like a decade, I can like look at his system and be like, well, what if this is the one tweak here? And so how it's worked is I do the majority of the writing, he does the entire concept, and I personally don't have any I don't care if this character is alive or dead or whatever. If that makes sense. Like, it's just tell me what you want to happen, and then I can make it like I can like color it in really well. And then at the end, he goes through and changes things what he likes, and we talk about it, and it's worked really well. It's I was afraid of the co-write at first, and it's worked really well.
I'm glad that you guys have a system down.
I've also heard of authors doing this, and I just talked to one recently, and I wouldn't want to do that. But he liked it. He has done a co-write where it's like every other chapter,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't like that because I'm a really slow reader. So I have Luke is the exact opposite. Luke is a very slow writer, a very fast reader. He can like I can when we were brainstorming, I'm like, I think that series, I think this, maybe you should check out this. A week later, he has read them all. And he's like, and I'm like, oh my God, it takes me like a month to read a book. I'm a very slow reader, but a very fast writer. And then he's the reverse. So it's like our powers combined type of situation. As the other author I was talking to, his name's Malcolm. I could never do that. I wouldn't want to like, because I'm such a slow reader to read someone else's chapter. And I'm not a critic. I don't, because everything that I like, someone else hates. Everything that I dislike, someone else loves. And so like, I'm not a good critic. I'm not a good person and I can't see like a wide picture. I can't be like, well, the issue is like, yeah, I don't see things like that very well. So I would be terrible at that. So this works perfectly for me. But it's everyone, everyone has a different style. If they can pull it off, then kudos.
What is the general idea of the story that you're writing with him then?
So the story, which again, two books are finished now, is it is about, and I have to remember because I've completely closed it out of my mind because I'm working. If I told you the title of what I'm working on, you will probably laugh. So I'll just tell you. I have a book coming out next year called "I Can't Believe I Have to Defeat the Demon Lord to Pay Off My Student Loans."
I'm about it.
So that's what I'm working on. So that's really on my mind. So, but I had just finished Aether Forge, my part of Aether Forge book two, and just the story there is there's a young man named Callum Strauss. His a distant relative from 500 years ago was a very famous guy who basically saved their world from the Demon King and all these things that were happening. And then the family legacy kind of faltered, and now he's just like lives with his father. The mother died early on the family farm, and a storm hits one night, and it's called an aether storm. And he's trying to harvest before the storm hits, and he has to seek shelter. And he seeks shelter in this old manor that's abandoned that his father has told him never to go to. And by doing so, he gets attacked by one of these monsters. He falls through the floors, and he unlocks Fen, who is a radiant fox that it basically gives him admission to the academy that his forefather helped found because now he has pacted with this animal. And so it has an academy line going through it. It's progression fantasy, has a really cool system that could be the nerdiest thing ever. But Luke was kind of like, let's like make it really, really good and then not like focus too much on it because, lit RPGs can get in the wood, I guess in the woods, is that the right word? They can get a little dense. So it doesn't really have that. We only did like a few chapters where it breaks it down, and it was kind of like a flex chapter, just to be like, just in case you don't see how this works, like this is how it would work. So I think I'm excited to see what people think because it's me a lot more tamed because Luke is his stuff is it's much tamer than mine, but it has like some of the stuff that I like doing, which is like really intense creativity and strange deep beasts and demons and things like that. So it should be really cool. I mean, it's big in audio too. It's going to be a 16-hour audiobook, the first book.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
the narrator is John Perala, and he's great. He does great stuff. And that was my suggestion because I follow audiobooks a lot. And so I'm like, I think this guy would be like really good for it. So again, it's out on, I guess, October 6th, October 7th, very soon.
Ooh. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
the
I'm excited about it.
is the audiobook out at the same time?
Yes, because okay, so it's published through Podium Entertainment, and it all comes out the same day. They actually sent me print books, but they sent from America, so I'm like kind of tracking. Like I told them not to because it's really hard to send one here, but at least then I can like make some videos, and then I'm gonna have some chibis done of them.
Because you have chibis done of all of your characters pretty much, right?
Yeah, I got lucky there. My beautiful partner is an artist, so she can do them. And so, and I've started to have them animated, which is fun. It's new. It's I don't really like doing social media, but I just do it because some you kind of have to these days. So
That's fair. I'm with you on this one.
I hate doing it. But I kind of like I was in acting and stuff when I was younger, and like so I know how to do it. I know how to like look at the camera and all that, but I don't like doing it, and I'm very judgmental. And so, but luckily, I've partnered with actually, it's kind of weird that this Brazilian woman who does social media editing for other people. And so I just kind of sent her the videos, and at first she was kind of like, "You want me to do what?" Like, and I'm like, "Just trust me, it makes sense in America because jokes don't make sense the same way." Like I filmed, like I was in a plant store and they had a bird. And so I'm like, oh, what if I zoom in on that bird and then tell the bird about Herman Cooper books? And so I'm posting that next week and it's like zooms in on this bird and it's like, hello, bird. You look bored in your cage. Would you like to read something? Here's a list of my completed series. And then the series start like cascading down. And so she's kind of like, okay, this will work in America. I'm like, I don't know if this will work in America, but at least it's humor.
It's
It's
fun.
fun. Yeah, exactly. Because it's I don't like selling as much, but I have to, it's part of the job.
So the other one that's coming out too is Doom System Survivor. Um, and I'm going to ask you, what is the basic rundown of this one?
Oh, okay. So that comes out that's the second book I finished because I just released the first book. Doom System Survivor is a post-apocalyptic lit RPG story set in New York City. I lived outside of New York City for 6 years, and so I visit all the time. And I was kind of sparked by the idea because like they still have these signs for fallout shelters. And you can kind of see them, and I kind of just sparked this idea of like, oh, that would be interesting if someone like something happened and someone was living in one. And then I saw it's on Netflix. It's called it's kind of like the Japanese version of Squid Games. I'm blanking on the name now. Oh my God, it's such a good one. It's I'll have to think of the name again. Of course, I don't remember it when I'm being asked it. Because it's some weird like Tokyo and Wonderland. Like it's some weird
Alice in
portmanteau.
Wonder, Alice in
Yeah, yeah,
Borderland.
that's it. Yeah, it's something weird that kind of like doesn't okay. But the whole concept of that was they're in Shibuya. I lived in Japan for a year, so I know exactly where they're in Shibuya. They go to the bathroom, they come out, and the entire place is empty, and they just see like a sign in the distance that's like "Come here." And now they've been transported to an empty city where they're like these harsh competitions, and I wanted to do that, Alice in Borderlands, with monsters because there's not monsters in that, and I'm like that would be really cool if it's just New York City. There's these weird challenges. These people have been surviving for a long time, and I also wanted to play with AI with it. And what I mean by that is, at the time that I started writing AI was becoming popular, and people were talking about AI hallucinations. And so I started thinking about like what would a system be like if it was a multiverse AI capable of completely disrupting a world and it's hallucinating. So the system starts off very normal, like basic sword, blah blah blah, like super normal. Toward the end of it, it is these long paragraphs that are really weird and really like I don't know if people like them or not, but I really like some of those paragraphs are harder to write than the entire book because I would basically want to. I've been saving USA Today news articles that are really strange, like what's skibbity toilet mean? And then like what's Riz and stuff. And so I would like, okay, how can I combine those with a story about a made up story about like Argentinian football players who worked for the CIA and like that the system is completely hallucinating at this point. So the characters they see it and they're just kind of like it's crazy, keep moving on. And I'm doubling down on this for Demon Lord, so we will see. Uh, so that's that. So it's if Dungeon Crawler Carl was on crack, maybe would be a funny way to describe it. But there's not really an animal companion. The humor in it is once you realize that the system is crazy and it's kind of funny to like break it down. But the characters aren't really funny. It's really like it's pretty desperate. There is a 16-year-old character and she kind of adds some humor to it, but she's also been reincarnated into a body of a fuzzy pink shield based on this thing that Lady Gaga had during last year's Olympics, the Paris Olympics. She had these like these pink like circular things and was like spinning them, and I'm like, oh, that would be a cool shield to have. And so she's in that shield, and so she's kind of like his sidekick, commenting on everything because he's pretty quiet. And there's a Shiba Inu who's like demonic, but he's not cute like Donut. He's not friendly either. Like the character can't really pet him or anything.
I was wondering because I saw the Shiba Inu on the cover of book one, but not on the cover of book two, and I was like, "Oh, tell me it didn't die or something."
No, never, God. But I did make see. This is why like I think people will, as people continue to discover Doom System, they'll see that it has levels that are like a lot deeper than that's on the surface. The dog doesn't die. However, the dog can die repeatedly because it only to regrow it just needs a piece of its flesh. It's demonic. So it always charges in and dies. And then he just finds a piece of its flesh and holds it and it regrows. But this is like on the trope of like, you're not supposed to kill an animal,
Yeah.
like especially a dog. And I'm like, well, the dog can't die, but he does die like all the time. And the reason that he's on the cover of book one and not book two is because those covers swapped. The cover of book two was supposed to be the cover of book one. The cover of book one now is supposed to be book two. That's why he has like golden Nikes on and stuff.
Yeah.
Like those are objects he gets in book two. But they did the cover, Athon did, and we were talking about it and they tested it and they're like, this cover does better. And I'm like, it's fine. And so yeah, the second book cover, it was originally the first one. That's why.
Okay.
And that's why there's also in the second book cover, there's a bunch of red rowboats in the air. If you look closely at it, that's a part of the first book story. I'm sure some readers will hate that, but you kind of have to do what looks best.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you want your books to
yeah,
sell.
yeah. Sadly, but yeah, that's the reason. And I'm like, well, because they were like, is the dog in the book one? I'm like, yeah, it comes in about 50%. So I mean, he's technically in, and he's from that point he's on. So yeah.
Okay.
And actually, the pinkness around it was actually originally supposed to be a shield, but they're like, Harmon, we don't think putting a fuzzy pink shield's gonna like make it work. So the illustrator did this, and I'm like, that actually looks really cool. So it kind of has like the Japanese rising sun kind of vibe, and the character's half Japanese. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that. But that was actually I kept saying like I really want him to. It's a main character. Name is Bianca. She's a main character. She's really funny too.
Book three has to have Bianca on it then, right?
Yeah, I made sure she can be on. I don't know when I'm going to do book three, but yes, I made sure she can be on it because I did something. That's all I'll say. I'm like, okay, then they will be forced to put her onto the third book cover.
Well, at that point, folks are invested anyway, so like they'll buy it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I've been very. It's been a strange launch with it. It's a new style for me. So what I wanted to do is take some of the things I did with the feedback loop 10 years ago, which are like this snarkiness, but I wanted to put it into more of the system because I was inspired somewhat by Dungeon Crawler Carl because I liked the later books, like books about five or six, where the
Mhm.
system gets really critical of like a lot of things. And I'm like, I want to bring that in earlier. And maybe it's too early because people are like, I think it is a little bit jarring once the system goes from very normal to like very strange. And there's political messages in it. There's everything that's combined in a way that seems completely absurd. And so I think that people will be discovering it for years, the Easter eggs hidden within these weird descriptions. And in audio, they sound crazy because Wayne Mitchell's the narrator and he reads them out and like he reads them like a straight man style, like in a comedy duo, just like da, 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 and like it's like what? Um, and so that was really cool to hear too. And so what I did with Demon Lord is I'm going to take that and kind of boil it down a little bit further, but it's the style that I want to do for Lit RPG because I like crazy systems. I like the challenge of writing weird stuff, but I also want to like not make the whole story like too jarring. So Doom System in the future might be seen as, oh, he's that's where he started that style.
Okay.
And if that makes sense. Because it'll be I think it'll be more fluid in Demon Lord.
Okay. So it's is it a bit jarring then with in the first book, the having the system like it is?
I think it's like well, I love it because I think it's really like on the literary side, it's really hard to write. Like the descriptions are very, very hard to write. Like, I mean, when I'm saying like a description could take me an hour to an hour and a half to perfect, I'm not like joking. It takes longer to write that than like two chapters. Because they're really, really dense with information, and all of the information is real things that have been taken and warped by the like a literal AI hallucination. So all the things are like, oh no, there really were Argentinian soccer players who were funded by the FBI at some point, and it sounds all absurd. It's completely sounds absurd, but if you like look the stuff up, it all actually is real things that's just put together in a timeline that doesn't make any sense because it will have that operating at the same time as a new PS5 release or something. And you're like, that's not, these aren't the same timelines. So yeah, and then it also allows me to create weapons and spells and stuff that are very unique. For example, like in the second book system's even cooler. He gets a ability called hostile architecture, which will like can change the architecture of the environment as he's fighting. And there's a whole reason he gets it, but it's a really weird kind of spell to think about. In the first book, his one of his main weapons is a vape pen that like basically depending on the cartridge that you put in it, it can do a crazy amount of damage, like corrosive damage, bleed damage, poison damage, smoke. He has to pop the cartridge in and then like take a puff and then like blow it out onto the field. So it's some of the most creative stuff I've done, and I hope people start discovering that more with it. But it's always hard to launch new series. It's never even if you've been at it for a long time, it's never easy. And then also with like a catalog like I have, people are like just starting the feedback loop.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, he just released this, but like I'll get to it, you know.
You do have such a large catalog. Where do you suggest that folks start with your work?
No, I don't know because what I usually tell people is I just because I get asked that online more than in person, obviously. If I was going to conventions more, I'd probably get more in person. Online, I just I reply with like a list of my completed series, which is like 12. And
Mhm.
I just like say, whatever title interests you, start there. So if you read this list and you're like, Monster Hunt NYC, yeah, that's what I want, and start there. Or you read Cowboy Necromancer, or you War Priest, or The World According to Dragons, or Arcane Cultivator, whatever it is. Start with, and then or explore further. Like, oh, that looks interesting, and see if that's what you want to read.
Okay.
Because I don't in my head have a starter series. Because if I did, I would just say my newest thing, just because I want it to be popular, and that's not maybe the best answer anyone wants to hear. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
I'd be like,
love
oh,
that
Doom
you
System, start there. It's like, well, maybe not.
well, I love that you also have like your Cozy Abyss series because it is very gentle into the idea of progression fantasy or lit RPG, you know?
Yeah. That's fun, and Sacred Cat Island too, which it's just
Yes.
a which one book, which is really hard to write, but it won an award, so I can at least say that. Although it was an award for narration, and the narrator was Travis Baldree, so I don't know how much I can claim on that, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I do like writing cozy stuff. I have another cozy idea. The problem with cozy is it's on a technical side is it's just really hard to market.
Mhm.
And I hate talking about things like that because like we should want to like be on more on the creative side, but to do things full time, it's like okay, it has to be marketable. Cozy is really hard because there's not a lot of avenues to do it at. Like it's not like LitRPG that has all these subgroups and places where you can like tell people. And same with progression fantasy because there's the overlap. I could tell everyone there, but like they're all often not looking so much for cozy. Um, so I do have another cozy series in mind. I think it will be called The Wolves of Chernobyl, but I see if I ever write it. We'll see. I already have the idea in mind. The cover artist is Eastern European artist that I really like. It just one day.
Well, that's fair. I mean, it's that's a lot to put on you right now anyway.
Yeah. And I have a new series coming out in January too, called Shadowborn Exile, that I actually finished like April. So that'll be cool.
I've not heard of this one, so
I think I might not have posted. It's up for pre-order, but I haven't posted anything about it because it's too far out, coming
Mhm.
in January. The story there is really cool. It's like if Death Stranding was more fast-paced, and it basically follows this guy whose settlement, he lives in this world called the Spiral Realm, and the entire world is a spiral going down. And they live on the outer rim, with these people who use shadow magic, and that's what they do. They hunt these monsters that like use light as their source of attack, and his settlement is destroyed, and he's pretty sure it's destroyed by this giant monster that has a baby made of light floating in its head that he can see. So like he kind of awakens to the system. It is actually lit RPG and vows he's going to kill this child. And well, the child is on his back on the first book cover, so he does. If you can understand, he probably does not kill that child. It's might be take people by surprise because it's really really intense and it's really beautiful. It's about loss and it's about like this situation. This it's the trope that kind of the Mandalorian trope where it's you have like this grizzled person taking care of like this innocent thing. It's also done. It's done in a really popular manga too, called The Wolf and Something. But it's like the samurai taking care of his baby. It's
Mhm.
a trope that like people like, and I wanted to play on that trope. So, and I'm supposed to write the second book of that right now, but next month I'll start.
Do you take breaks from writing? Geez.
No, I mean, I maybe I will next year. I don't know. No, I mean, I don't have children or pets, so I don't really have anything to like. I mean, except for like video games and entertainment or travel. But no, it's what I like to do, and so and I have a lot of contracts that I have to fulfill too, and people that depend on them, because it's like my publisher is like, well, we have the cover, we have you scheduled for editing in January, so I'm like, okay, I better finish that. But maybe I'll take a break. I don't know. Maybe when I get to 100 books, I think I'm at like 93 or 94. I'll take a break. So
I was trying to add them up and I was like, I lost count now.
they are hard to add up because some of the books, like the feedback loop, used to be 8 books, but then I made it into the two big ones you have behind you. So I count those in each individual book because they were originally published that way. So that's what makes it hard to add up. Plus, I had another pen name that just wrote Harem called Gideon Caldwell, and that's another like 7 or 8 books that people don't know about. Some people know about it, but so there's those books. There's some that I took down too, but I still count them because I'm like, well, I did write them. And there's one that I took down that I'm reworking now, called Survival Cultivation in a Dying World, and we'll see when I finish that. It'll be a standalone. It's dark and fun, but I have too much to work on, so and it's actually really hard technically because I wrote it in 2016 and I wrote it in like present tense and third person and then first person as well, present tense. So I have to convert all of that first, and then I have to convert the first person to third person. So I wanted to get it done this year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's not, it's almost like the thing is I wrote 2 books and the third book could finish it up in like 30,000 words, but to get to that point is like it's a lot to get there. So it might be something that people see come out in like 2027. But I'm gonna do it because it's like you already have 90,000 words. I only need like 30,000 more. Might as well finish it, but to get to that point, it's tough.
Do you feel like it would just be easier to start from scratch at this point?
No, because I don't remember the story. So I'm also remembering what I was writing while I'm doing it. And I took notes way differently at the time. I'm much more organized with notes now. I do synopsises of each chapter. Like that's how I was going to talk about that. That's how I jump back into a series. I basically completely turn off a series, and then when I have to write the next book in it, I have to reintroduce myself to it. And some authors will just read the entire book. I've listened to the entire book before. That's helpful to remember, and I have an example of that. But now what I usually do is I just have a chapter by chapter synopsis, and that's in depth, like up to 3 paragraphs, and I'll just read all of that. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
So you have an example of reading the whole book?
Yeah, Way of the Immortals is basically I wrote 3 books and I wanted to do a fourth book, but I never got around to it. And I owned all the rights. I paid for the audio from Neil Helliger's myself, and I just let it. I never promoted it because I didn't want people to. I usually finish my series, and people are weird about that. If you don't finish it, they'll give you shit on Reddit. And you're like, okay, I actually have to like pay for my family to live. Um, and that's a whole nother story. But I've been wanting to finish it, so I thought like, okay, what I will do is since I haven't touched it in like 5 years at this point, I will listen to Neil read the third book, and then I'll write the fourth book. I'll take everything down. I'll just make one book, just the complete series, and that's what's up now. I released that this year. That was one of the 6 projects that was bringing me stress last year because I had listened to Neil's book 3, and then now I had to write book 4, then repackage it, and also, I wrote it a different way because I started in like 2019, so my writing is improved. But I wanted it to match. I didn't want you to like listen to the first 3 books, and then the fourth book it's like kind of heightened. You're like, what happened? So I had to kind of like almost dumb down my own writing a little bit. Uh, yeah. So, anyways, Way of the Immortals, but it's a complete set now: print, ebook, audio. 1 credit for like 30 something hours, so that's nice.
I love that you do complete book series too, because there's so many lit RPG authors that I feel like they're going to go forever. And at some point, I kind of lose interest, you know?
I do as well. When it goes too long, I'm just like, okay. I do that with TV shows too. There's TV shows that are or like Netflix series that I've started that I loved. Like I loved Orange is the New Black, but then it started to go so long that I just like, all right, and people are gonna kill me. But I same with Stranger Things. Like I loved the first season, and then I was into the second season, and I kind of just stopped because I'm like, well, it's taking so long to get out that like, there's other things to watch now, you
Yeah.
know. And so, yeah, I try to keep my stuff complete so it's bingeable and done. And most of in the contracts I do, they're usually trilogies and 4 book series. I would love to expand that because I've written a like 9 book series before, but that does keep it tight and it does make it so like if people aren't enjoying it, there's not a pressure like, well, you said you signed for 8 books and it's clear on book 2 that people don't like it. And you're like, well, but some authors do that. I know authors that are like, oh, my book's going to be 25 or my series is going to be 25 books. I'm like, okay, I don't know who reads these things, but people do. And they seem to make a living doing it. So who am I, you know?
And considering how dense these books are, I'm usually like, this is 19 hours. What am I doing?
Yeah, that's another thing that okay, so I've become I like audiobooks, but I don't like long audiobooks because I'll never finish it. Like I got Shogun to listen to, and then that was like 54 hours, and I'm like, I listened to like 7 hours. And I'm like, all right, I get the vibe. I don't know who these characters are now because like I usually like listen to audio when I work out. So
Yeah.
if it's not really clear, however, that has influenced my writing though, because if I know who's narrating the book, I kind of write toward their style of narration, which some people would say don't do, but I like if I know Neil's narrating, I know his cadence, his tempo. If I know Jeff Hayes is narrating, I know that I can do weirder things. I know that I can like talk more about the sound effect, the sound of something because they will put that sound in. Like they will make it sound like that. Like, like I do a lot more of like Jeff because readers don't like it. He likes to do like characters eating while they're talking. And so I'll make sure that characters are eating while they're talking. Um, because we both think it's funny that people get so offended by this. Like people get like will blast books he narrates because like he'll just make they're like people are talking and they're eating something,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
That's impressive that you can tailor your writing in those ways, though. Like that's something I would never even think about.
I was a musician before, so if I've worked with a narrator long enough, I know like how they will read it, and so when I do my final pass through, I think of it in their voice, and I listen to enough. Most of the narrators, if not all, that I've worked with, I listen to as well. And so I know like that's why I actually like when I sign a book to know who's going to narrate it at the beginning. Like with Demon Lord, I don't know who's going to narrate it right now, and so I'm like, well, okay. But if I had known that, I can make it better for that person.
Okay.
And like because like Neil, for example, he's like he has like this kind of like fast staccato way of narrating that I'm like, okay, I can write with that in mind. And then some narrators are a lot slower. The like Wayne Mitchell, I like his style because it's really like crisp and very like dense. And so I can like Doom System, I wrote it like so he could read it like that. And he also really like I was really impressed with his Doom system because he pushed himself in new ways. Like he did a lot of like vocal effects and things to mirror some of the things in the book that were more like what people would say that SBT does, what Sound Blue Theater does. He did some of that stuff too, which I was like really stoked for because I love that kind of stuff.
And he's with Podium, right?
He Wayne Mitchell is with anybody. He's like Neil. He doesn't have like a he's not like the narrators of SBT or like Justin Thomas James, Annie Ellicott. There's Ryan. There's they have like six or seven. Dory is another one. Dory's really good. And I'm sure whoever I missed is if they ever see this will be like he didn't mention me. I've met them all, and so Lori, I know her. They work just through SBT, but other ones kind of they're more freelance. There's the term.
Okay.
So they do Podium, Tantor, recorded books, Aethon, Blackstone, anybody who's doing things.
Do you find it
Mountaindale.
easier now that there are all these companies that are willing to do the publishing? Because you were self-published for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I might be again too. I haven't decided. Not in a bad way. It's when you hand over everything to someone, it's like a relief because you don't have to fund it all yourself. You don't have to. But the I feel sometimes that like the things that like you do completely do yourself, um, there's more of a, you have more of a push to make it really successful. It's very easy because a lot of authors just like hand their book over to a publisher and they're like, okay, well that's their job now. And I'm really hands-on, like with Athon, for example. Athon will do all of the promotion, but like I want to do it like because this is how I've done it before. And it stresses me in certain ways because I'm like, wait, like now I have to, why did you agree to do that? But it's kind of what I do. Like, I'm going to go crazy for Aetherforge because it could be a huge book. And like, it's also co-written with Luke, who's really um, embedded in the genre. And so like, I'm already knowing I'm going to have to go crazy for that. So that's the one is that's the drawback. And the other drawback is it's a lot harder to track your data when it's you get fed the data every 3 months or something.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder. And so like what had helped me before sometimes if I was pitching to someone was to show data. Now it's a little bit harder.
Okay.
But maybe I'm at a point now where it's like it's less of a uh, proving my data and more of a I have this. Like, it's clear that I'm in this. Like Demon Lord was actually, I mean, since we're so deep into this, and Demon Lord was really a weird pitch because it was my first book that's a series signed with Audible, and I did not expect them at all. I sent them four ideas, three of which are, the other three of which are awesome as well. And I talked to some other publishers just briefly. I have too much right now, but I'm like, I'm going to do one of these next. And it was not the one that I thought like that they were like, oh, we want this one about Demon Lord and student loans. And I was like, really? And then I had to like, they're like, can you show us more? And I had to like very quickly like put like a 50-page packet together, like pre-write the book and everything.
Oh,
So
gosh.
that yeah, I didn't expect it. I really expected it to be one of the other ones, which will also probably come out because they're good ideas. Um, so that took me by surprise. So you kind of don't know what's going to happen.
To recap, you have
Yes,
your Luke Chumlenko co-written book coming out October 6th.
October 6th or 7th, whatever that Tuesday is. It's
Yep.
up for pre-order though. Aether Forged Rebirth. It's a beautiful cover. It's purple. And it looks like Metallica's Ride the Lightning. You can't miss it. If you go to my Amazon profile, Harmon Cooper, you will see it. Or Luke's profile, you will see it. It's like there's a guy standing in a field, there's a giant bird made of lightning in the sky. It's really good. Podium has done a great job at the cover for this.
So now you have too many books. Now I'm gonna be just sitting in my office just listening to audiobooks.
Do you mostly do audio?
Yeah, because I can't just sit still. So
Oh, I understand.
it's really hard.
Oh,
But
so if you did the feedback loop in audio, yeah, that is a ride and a half.
it was a trip.
It is a ride and a half. That was one of the early things Jeff did as well, and it was never a big seller. So we kind of like just kept at it, and then like we got to like book 4 or 5, and it wasn't really popular. And then later I came to him with like, well, what if we just you finish the last books, we put them in 2 big box sets, we'll just put it out, and I'll do some extra stories for it, and that worked out. It worked out really well because it's one of his favorite characters to play. We both cosplayed as Quantum at Dragon Con in 2023.
That's the one I went to. That's where I got
Oh,
these.
oh, oh, were you there? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun. And because his Quantum is so funny, and he knows the character so well that he can kind of just like do it, kind of like how he does with Carl. Like he's kind of like donut, blah 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 blah. Like, um, he can kind of just do it. That particular character, Quantum, is like that. Yeah, those audiobooks are great. The Monster Hunt audiobooks are really cool too because they're like full soundtrack. Um,
I do like
like
that. Yeah.
complete orchestration. It's like if you were watching an anime and closed your eyes. So some people don't like that, but if it's really cool. And the first book is in Audible Plus, so it's like no reason for people not to listen to it. 'Cause you can listen to it for free. Those were really challenging to do, though. All the sounds of the weapons, and then later on in the book, they use their instruments as weapons. So it's like the strikes are like guitar chords being played and stuff. It's crazy.
Oh goodness.
Audio time, but like yeah, audiobooks are fun, and yeah, if you like long ones, I do have a few, but I don't like long audiobooks, and I kind of some authors would hate me for saying this, but I kind of await the day that like there's this thing that like because a long audiobook looks more like it's worthwhile for the credit, that people kind of stuff books right now to that are in an unnecessary way, and I don't do that. And so once everything goes to streaming, which it is going to go to, I hate to tell everyone, my back catalog is going to be ignited in a way that like I'm stoked for because I have a lot of books that are like in the 10 to 13 hour range.
Mhm.
And, they go up against books that are like 25 hours. And, but eventually the story will rise to the top because, like, if it's just a lot of churn, a lot of stats, it gets old.
Yeah. And then like sometimes whole books are fillers, right? And I'm just like, what is
Yeah, I
happening?
don't know. I don't know. Like, I haven't read ones that do that because, like, that just annoys me.
Yeah.
But I know that people complain, but sometimes those books are the biggest ones in the genre, and people continue to read them. So I'm like, maybe who am I? Like, I'm
Yeah.
wrong here because it's like the one that people all debate or something, and then you're like, this is debated so much that the author has never had to pay for advertising. They just get to live on in the debate, or like the always famous debate for audio is Wandering In.
Oh yes. Yes, yes.
But
That'll
some people
never
really
end.
love it. Yeah. And I love Andy, the narrator. She's done my one of my series, Death's Mantle, and she did another book that no one knows that I wrote called Star Spangled Apocalypse that is buried somewhere on Amazon. That was our first book together. Andy's great though. She's really fun to work with, and I know she's caught so much flack when they changed the narrator, but it's like she's narrated like hundreds of hours, guys. Like it's
Right?
exhausting.
But also it's got to get kind of boring if you want to do other projects.
And
So,
yet they're big projects. They're not like it's Podium publishes. It's not like Podium sends her a book like, oh, every 6 months we send you a 10-hour book. It's like, no, here's a 50-hour book, and oh, the author's 3 million words ahead. So the next 50-hour book will be ready in like 2 months. And you're like, oh my God. But more power to her. I'm glad that she was able to exit. And it seems like people are adjusting to the new narrator. I know some people are mad about it, but that's always.
If you like the book, you'll
Yeah.
get over it eventually.
Yeah. The narration change to read people get mad about that is always like, oh, there's a lot of things that authors don't have under the control, you know.
But we have come
But
to
yes,
the end of our time together. You've three releases coming, so,
yeah.
everybody needs
And
to
then
watch out.
yes, the releases are Aether Forged in October, and then Doom System 2 in October, and then January will be Shadowborn Exile. And I will probably release a Cowboy Necromancer box set just for ebook print.
Yeah.
So all four books, because the Cowboy Necromancer series is one that I want more people to get into because it's really deep and it deals with things that like people don't expect without giving any huge spoilers away. But it deals with a lot of personal issues that you would not expect to read in fiction, and I never got flack for it because of the way that I put it together, and I'm excited about that. And also I went to all the places that I wrote about, so the research it was very like I mean I visited the Southwest like 6 or 7 times and I would get like collect documents from like national park bookstores and stuff to use in the book, and then it's a lot deeper than that. So I'm excited to do it in a box set so people could rediscover it. It wouldn't be an audio, but the audio is great if
Mhm.
people haven't done the audio because McLeod Andrew he does westerns, and so it's a weird western, but he does it in like a really cool way.
They're so fun too, and intermixed with like really kind of awful things that can happen, but
Yeah, I am excited about that because I think that some people will rediscover it, and it's for some people that do Kindle Unlimited or just want to buy a book. It's a
Mhm.
huge. I mean, it'll be huge. It'll be like God, 500,000 words or something. It's pretty big. So
Big
yeah,
boy.
yeah. I don't think there'll be a print version. I actually just got from Spain the print version of Death's Mantle, which is it's the trilogy though. So it's all three books together, and so I mean, this is like less than two-thirds the size of all the Cowboy Necromancer together. It's a lot smaller. This is the size. Okay, let me rephrase. This is the size of two Cowboy Necromancer books. So, and the box set's going to have four.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, so I'm excited. So look out for that. Probably December.
Oh, okay. So it's
Oh, and
off a
that's
bit.
the other thing. Oh, wait, we're not done. I have more things coming out, but the American listeners don't care. So this year I've been building out all of my books in foreign languages. And so right now, 13 have been translated every month. Between 5 and 10 are being translated into Brazilian Portuguese, Latin American Spanish, German, and French. And those all will start releasing. So if you follow me on social media, which you should on Instagram, especially because I'm a clown on there, but I also post stuff. I speak some of these languages enough that like I will probably do videos in other languages, and I am going to release all the stuff, and I own most of the rights to it as well. So it's back to like self-publishing and doing it in a way that a lot of people haven't done before. Romance authors have done it, but for my genre, they haven't done. So that's all coming too, and that's been really interesting because a lot of books are getting new covers and stuff for those reasons.
You also have a Patreon that you do some special things with too. So if anybody's interested in following you a
Yes,
little closer.
yeah, and you can follow me for free on Patreon too. Just that helps me look like I have a lot of Patreon followers. I am not a Patreon first author like some of these guys who maybe started off on Royal Road, and it always makes me feel shame. But then I'm also like, I can't offer 50 chapters ahead of a book because like of the way my writing schedule works.
Yeah.
And I don't have just one series. I'm not Primal Hunter, which is just that guy's one series. I have a lot, I have like 4, 5, 6 series that I'm juggling. But I will post all of Shadowborn Exile soon because it's been finished for a while. Aether Forge 2 will all be posted as well. And then once Doom System starts again, it'll be on there. Demon Lord will be on there as well. I do plan to launch the Demon Lord book as web serial first because the plan is it will come out next May. That is Audible's suggestion to coincide with graduation.
Okay. Strange.
Well, I mean, the title, yeah, I can't believe I have to defeat the demon lord to pay off my student loans. And so they're like, let's release it in May. And I'm like, all right, you
Well, they
guys know
haven't
I'm
started
subversive.
paying yet, so they won't know.
Yeah, they don't know, but yeah, it'll be fun. I think the title alone is going to catch a lot of attention. And I was, of course, inspired by Benjamin Carai's farmer book. I was reincarnated as a farmer, which I loved. I was inspired by that title for that.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Harmon.
Thank you for having me. And anyone watching this, you can just go to harmoncooper.com or find me on Instagram. It's pretty easy. I'm on TikTok. Yes, I do post TikTok videos. I don't like to, but I do. And of course, follow me on Amazon and Audible because that's the best way to get notified of my releases. And you won't get notified of like, the Portuguese and Spanish releases if you're not interested. Those it'll just be, otherwise you'll be getting like emails every week because I will be releasing like 4 books a month starting in October, but in other markets.
Well, perfect. Now everybody has so much of yours to catch up on, and
Please do.
yeah. Well, thank you again, and I hope everybody out there has a lovely day and go pick up all of Harmon Cooper's books. Maybe start with the new releases though, okay?
Yeah, every book. I will come to your house and check. Just kidding. I'm not coming unless you invite me.
Well, thank you and have a lovely day. Bye.